and Andy, chewing the jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut cocaine. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Fuck being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this. Before you was sucking on your mama's tit.
Aries Spears don't give a
We talk about race a lot, racism.
sexism.
Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, clip loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
How you feeling? You should be asking me that.
I should be. Did you, because you're doing some stuff.
I've been fasting for the last, I think this is day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. How do you say it?
Intermittent.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent.
Mintant.
Well, there you go. For 5 days now. I haven't had a drink. I haven't had a cigarette. For the first time, I pulled an Andy after the show. I went straight back to the room where I read the Bible and went to sleep.
Before you know it, you'll be jerking off.
I'll never do that again. But yeah, man, I'm doing the fasting thing. 16-8, so 16 hours, no food, then an 8-hour window. I eat one thing, and it's a healthy thing. And yeah, man, it's weird. Well, first of all, before we get to that, here's what, because for those of you, what brought on the change? Because I've been talking about doing this for a minute.
An intermittent.
Yeah, an intermittent. Ba-dum-boom. One of my childhood friends had died, my boy Luce, who I know I mentioned a little ways back. But then while we were in Denver on Sunday, I got a call from one of my boys, Danny Jones, and he goes, yo, Sauce died. And listen, I've said multiple times, my two best friends in life, one since the 4th grade, the other since the 5th grade, who we're as thick as thieves to this day, Ish and Ivan. But we had a crew. And in that crew was Ish, Ivan, me, my boy Eric Cunningham, a.k.a. Ham, DL, Daryl Banks, Luce, Sauce, Wayne Cruz. So we had our crew. And Sauce was in the crew. And, if you saw the movie Jerry Maguire, when I first got to L.A. and things kind of took off for me, I tried to flex with little muscle I had and put my boys on. Like I would constantly give Ish, extra parts on Mad TV. So my whole 8 years on Mad, you would always see Ish in the background somewhere. And one day he even got a line. But when I was doing Jerry Maguire, that famous scene at the end where Cuba Gooding is on the Roy Firestone show and he gets the big contract. And Tom Cruise, and I'm standing there with Tom Cruise, Renee Zellweger, and he goes on the rant, TP, my brother, I love you, you militant. In the background, you see this fat, chubby kid who looked like Sam's from Lean On Me and was also in Juice. He looked just like Sam's. So that's my boy Sauce who was in that moment. And then also that moment in Jerry Maguire when Regina King violently slaps me because I'm talking about the moment where Rod Tidwell, a.k.a. Cuba Gooding, was unconscious. The dude, right, I'm sitting on the couch, it's me and Regina King, and the dude directly behind me with the beige shirt with the camcorder is Ish. So, Sauce been fat since we was kids. He's always been fat. And he never got skinny. He died at 53, 4 days after his birthday. And for some reason, like when Luce died, it didn't really hit me like that. I went, damn, damn. And not that I was as close to Sauce as I was Ish and Ivan, but you know what I mean? Like, damn,
Still,
Sauce came out to the crib. He's been out to my house. We used to. So it with me that night. And I was just like, dude, you got everything he got. High blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, and I don't sleep with what you call that machine you sleep with?
CPAP.
CPAP?
Vibrator?
CPAP.
Oh, CPAP.
CPAP. I don't sleep with one of those, but that time we was at the hotel and we were roommates. I snore. So I probably should have one.
It's like, it's a medical situation with you.
I get, but I don't know. So long story short, man, I just went, damn, dude, like I'm 50 and I got what this got, and I mean he was, come on, 5 times bigger than me, but I don't think that really should matter, especially when you're in the 50-year-old age. Excuse me. So it just made me go, man, let me quit saying what I'm gonna do, because I've been saying that for a minute, and just hanker down and bunker down and do it. And the weird thing is, as much as I thought it would drive me crazy to not eat that long, the first day when I woke up, I was like, yo, I like this feeling of not feeling bloated, not feeling heavy because of the heavy meal and the I ate the night before. I like feeling like I don't have alcohol in my tank still. And as I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is, it feels weird, but I'm handling it better than I thought I would. And it's a weird feeling to it, because I like how it feels, but it just feels weird in my subconscious to go that long without eating. And like I said, when you do it, you got that 8-hour window to eat the one thing.
And you're starting at 12:30, right? You wait till 12:30. Yes,
yeah.
That can be and on the road, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously with the time change, there's some adjustments.
Yeah, that with me a lot when I was doing it. Because
but nonetheless, and listen, I'm not gonna lie to myself. When we went to the club last night, and I told my man who got the cigarettes, he got 3 packs of cigarettes. I said, dude, I'm not. I was like, take him out of the green room. I'm not doing it. And I know I've said that a million times before, and I end up doing it. And I think kind of what helps here is Milwaukee. The club is inside of a I don't know
mall, outdoor mall.
Outdoor mall. There's nothing around here, and it's 11 degrees. So it's like if you want to go somewhere, you got to get in a car and go somewhere. So it's real easy to say, get in the car, go back across the street, go to the hotel, and call it a night. The challenge is next week when we're in Miami.
Yeah.
And that Copper Blue is right there. You could drink and smoke outside. They're playing hip-hop music, salsa music, and the food is spectacular. I really believe in my heart and soul, I'm going to do this. I just go.
The important thing in this for you, and this is important, and I'm really bad about doing this too, when you fall off, when you make a mistake, like when you go, okay, you went out, you've been good, and then one night you just have some drinks and you might eat some food off time, then you get up the next day and go, it up, and then that's it. It's over. That can't be over. That's just that you have to go. That was last night. It's time to start.
Get right back on
it. Yeah, that's what. And I have done the same. But I had been sick so many times where like this bronchitis thing gets me, and I can't work out. I can't do the things I want to do. So then it just I've stopped. But since you're on it, I'm definitely going. I went back to the gym today, and when you go,
and
to
I
gym,
worked out this morning,
and that's going to help you go to sleep after when you get back from the room. When you work out, your body takes that. It feels it, and then it wants rest, and you can go to sleep afterwards. The hardest thing for us, I think, is after you get off stage, especially if you had good shows and you got
adrenaline, man,
and you want to go back to the room. You want to go do something, but going back to the room, relaxing and thinking about it, writing, putting out some music, seeing some things that you could have done different. That's what I do now, and it's better. And you around a lot last night, by the way. We'll get back to that, but you ran on stage a lot. You played around yesterday.
And I got to tell you, I purposely went, I don't want to start this AKA experiment on the road, because I don't know how it will affect my energy, I don't want to get cloudy head. So I started it on Monday because I knew we wouldn't be here until Friday. So I said, let me take the first 3 days, maybe 4, to kind of get used to it. And I got to tell you, I'll wake up, I'll do the regimen, I'll stick to it, I'll go work out, I'll go eat. But once I eat or once I leave the gym, normally if I come home and it's mid-afternoon, late afternoon, I'll probably, around and play my PlayStation for several hours. I don't want to do nothing but get in the bed and lay down. Not because I'm fatigued. I want to be in one place where I can just watch TV till I fall asleep. I feel like if I'm up and I'm either playing my game or I'm doing something else,
it's picking your journaling back up.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
you need to get into place. I don't want to sound all spiritual on you, but you got to get into that meditation space where you're relaxing, you start hearing yourself, your thoughts.
Right. Yeah.
And it sounds hokey, though, when you say it out loud, but that is the truth. And it's different for everybody. Some people, when you say that, you think they're sitting in a corner with their legs crossed doing om, om.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying
Right.
that you just got to get into that space where you're comfortable, where you're having your thoughts and how a reflection on the day.
Listen, I'm not fooling myself at any part of this. I mean, especially since I just started. It's going to be hard tonight because it's 2 shows. So it's twice the adrenaline rush. And it's a Friday. So psychologically for me, it's Friday, or even if it was Saturday, these are the nights where it happens. You know what I mean? So between the Friday and the Saturday, the 2 shows, the adrenaline spike, you know. But I know, I swear to God, like something feels different for me.
You felt it.
I felt it. And I just went, at 50, listen, I could roll the dice and go, you know, he died at 53. So at 50, you know, maybe I got, how many more Russian roulettes do I have? And I don't want to do that.
Well, the thing that you have, you know, I think.
Well, let me just say,
go ahead.
The spooky part about it is like my boy Danny goes, yeah, man, just a week ago, we were hanging out and laughing and having a good time. To just go, so you can one day go from everything feeling normal to he just stopped breathing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It is it.
And his whatever was around his organs crushed his shit up or whatever.
Well,
so,
but what I wanted to say about when you go out and you know that adrenaline, you can come home and you can use that adrenaline. You can go out and you can have those drinks, but when you have the drinks, you're chemically altering that adrenaline. You're actually bringing yourself down almost into it's because you know alcohol is a depressant.
yeah.
So you're depressing that emotion so that you can relax, but you don't go to relax. You go to like party. Then you feel good, and then you just sit there and have more drinks and more drinks. That doesn't end well. And like you said, once we get into our 50s, your body just takes that beat. But see, I do miss this. I got to tell you, and I think I've said this on here before. I know I've told it to you personally. I miss, like, I would come out. I'd always like to come out at least once, but I miss like having that conversation about comedy. And like, if something went on that night, like I feel like I'm missing out not talking to you about it. And we, because we would sit there and we would talk comedy for hours. That's the thing that I miss. But we'll figure out how to incorporate that into trying to be better. Because at 60, I know even though I've gained some weight since I quit, I've been trying to manage some food better, not as well as I should. I feel it. Like I breathe differently right now.
Yeah.
And my body just doesn't hold weight real well. So time to go. Time to keep it.
Time to update that rider.
Well, wish me luck, folks, because like I said, I truly believe in my mind something switched when I heard about Sauce's passing.
And I'm sorry about Sauce passing, by the way. I didn't give you my condolences for that.
Something just, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like I'm really ready to go there. So I'm just scared about next week because I'm like, Miami. It just,
Well, you do other things that you could, like when we're in, oh no, they don't have that Haagen-Dazs place. Don't they have Haagen-Dazs out there in that mall?
Why would I want Haagen-Dazs?
You want that Haagen-Dazs milkshake. You want to do those things. You can do that stuff.
Fuck that.
I think like Ella, as long as you just don't drink, the food is like less important.
His late night food becomes the problem, though.
Yeah. And certainly the drinking adds to the desire for it.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going to make good decisions after you drink.
Now listen, folks. If we have time, but we were going to talk about, and I still hope we do, the Chevy Chase doc on CNN/Hulu. I'm Chevy Chase, you're not. But sometimes when it happens, like when you're watching a good TV show, and it says this just in, breaking news. So this is some breaking news. You heard about your boy Trump?
Yeah, we hear about him every day, but this one's the.
So if you don't know, Trump sent out a post where he depicts Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys. I want to play this clip that I posted, and then I want us to talk about it.
Have you seen the whole clip?
This isn't just offensive imagery. This is one of the most explicit and historically dangerous racial tropes. It's been used for breaking News, Donald Trump just posted an obscenely racist photo of former President and First Lady Barack and Michelle Obama on Truth Social. This photo depicts them as literal monkeys, apes, because of the color of their skin. They're black people. If you don't believe me, here's a screenshot of the post from Donald Trump's official Truth Social account. This image was a part of a longer video, and this image depicts Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys by photoshopping their faces on top of monkeys. This isn't just offensive imagery. This is one of the most explicit and historically dangerous racial tropes. It's been used for hundreds of years in anti-black propaganda, slavery-era cartoons, and segregationist rhetoric to attempt to rationalize or justify the exclusion and abuse of black people. This is absolutely disgusting. Just when you thought that Trump couldn't go lower, he did. The President of the United States of America is now posting racist photos depicting black people as apes.
So that being said, here's the golden question. Because I've said on this podcast or asked the question many a times. No, I've said Trump's a racist. To which you have always said, what makes him racist? So here's my question. Is he racist, Andy?
I've always said that he has racist tendencies, and all people at his age have that.
That's not what you've said. You've said, what makes him racist?
Well, what makes him racist?
Well, no. We're not going, well, you've asked that. Whenever I've said he's racist, you go, what makes him racist?
Policy-wise is what I was asking as a president, is what I'm asking you.
I know, but when you've asked that question, you made it seem like you give me something that proves he's a racist. And when I've brought up examples, you fought them. So now with this, straight up, is he racist or not?
If that stands, yeah. But I can't support. I can't. Well, let me rephrase. Let me redo your question. At this point, I can't support this man. This is as racist and as low as you can go.
Okay, and I kind of feel like you're in the neighborhood of what I'm hoping where I'm hoping you would be. But when you say if, what do you mean if? When you go if this, it's from his account.
Yeah, I know.
He did it.
Yeah, he did it. The only thing, and I still won't give him a pass on it, no matter what. Like this, you owe it to the people. But the only way that I can do this, and I have to say this way, if you pull that back up, if you open it back up, wait till he goes. Don't play the whole thing again. Right. If you go back to the where they show the picture.
Oh, come on.
And this is a pass, and I can't give him this pass. But if you look at it, that's where it comes up in this video, and the video is a minute long. The reason I can't give him a pass is because this is it. If that was a mistake, if he didn't watch the whole video and he posted it at the beginning, because the beginning is about the SAFE Act, and if he saw this thing and it was, I haven't seen the video. That's why I asked you if you've seen the video. The whole video is about the SAFE Act, and that's posted at the very end. If he didn't see it, I can't put this 100% on him, but you're the president of the United States. You don't post things that you don't know 100% is on there. I don't know that someone else in his team posted on his thing, but I don't care. If this man doesn't come out, I assume it's taken down.
Oh, yeah, they said he took it down.
But if he doesn't come out today and go in front of the American people and call a press conference, whatever he needs to
Which I don't think he will.
And say something to this effect, that he takes full responsibility for the video being posted on his page. He was posting because he saw the SAFE Act on there. He agreed with the video that was on there. He didn't know that was at the end, but he takes full responsibility for posting it, and he wants to apologize to the American people, to every black person that this has caused any kind of pain or indignity to, and especially and foremost, say to the Obamas, I know that we've had going back and forth. I know that sometimes we've been on the same side, but mainly not. And I deeply apologize because this is a bad.
Are you high right now?
No, deeply apologize.
You think Trump is going to do that?
No.
Hold on, let him finish.
It's not saying what I think he's going to do. If he doesn't do that, I don't think that. I think that he should be censured. I think that this is just for the people of our country. He is demeaned. I can't go forward with this.
Hold on, Mama. Yeah, bring Andy a plate. Collard greens, yams. Black-eyed peas, everything, extra swine, and no. What do white people drink? No wine, Kool-Aid, great. You good?
It can't be this. This is insulting to the people of this country. And the last thing that he needs to do, though, he needs to really own it. If he doesn't do this, I can't support him. There's some policies out there that he has, but I'm going to have trouble supporting them. You know what? Let me rephrase this. I can support the policies, but I can no longer support when the policies break down and people make mistakes. I can't go, they're just mistakes anymore.
Now, I want to hit something that Mark said, but before I do that, I want to ask you this. Well, let me hit what Mark said first, because for me, it's a short thing. I agree with everything you said. There's no way. I think his ego and his narcissism, he ain't calling no press conference, even though, and even if he did, I still don't think we buy it. But at least make the effort. And the fact that he would have to make that effort, that's something his ego just won't allow. And I think the main important part would be not just to say, yo, I apologize to the African-American community, but specifically the Obamas.
Yeah.
No way.
No, he has to apologize to the Obamas.
He ain't doing that.
Because he didn't, and not only this is the other part. I don't care. You know, he has to apologize to the country because the Democrats aren't winning the midterm with that. Just that alone will keep them from winning the
The Democrats or the Republicans?
The Republicans. The Republicans
Right.
won't win the midterm now. And even if he apologizes, it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen because the disappointment of that and being now everybody who supports Trump, including myself, who supported him on this election, now we're all racist because of this.
Well, that brings me to my second question. Knowing what you know now, from the time he ran a second term all the way till today, including this, if you had it to do over again, would you vote for him?
I have to see what he does with this today. I have to see what he does today.
But what if he didn't?
If he doesn't do anything, it's real tough for me, and I'm going to tell you why.
Mama, hold off on that plate.
Hold the plate. This is why. I still have really hard feelings toward the Democratic Party, which I am a registered Democrat, and I've said this before.
Okay, so let me be clear. Everything you just said, as far as how disgusting and demeaning this is to black people and the Obamas, even with that, even if he didn't do what we know he's not going to do, which is to come out and give a press conference, you still have if you might vote for him?
No. It's not an if I would vote for him. It's just I wouldn't vote, period. I couldn't vote for the party because they were installed.
So you're saying you wouldn't vote for him or Kamala?
No.
You just would be out of it.
I'd be out.
Mama, put the plate under the heat lamp. I'm not sure.
She was they were trying to install a president. She didn't. I don't know who was running the Democratic Party, and whoever is running it said that she was the one, and then that's who we were going to vote for. And this whole thing about she was the greatest and qualified, but she didn't ever get one vote when she ran for in the primaries. She dropped out because she couldn't get a vote. And now this is the best person. They needed to have a mini primary. They needed to have a 30-day, some kind of even if it was the Congress voting for the Democratic congressman voting for a candidate to run. Something that didn't make it about who was installed running the Democratic Party. That's all. That's all I need.
Nobody wanted to run, though, do it. It was such a weird circumstance that none of them wanted to.
I don't care about that. It had it, then take it to the people and have a 30-day to get it done. I don't care how it would have got done. Something needed to be done. But besides that, that was one of the main reasons I couldn't support the Democratic Party. That was it. Because I don't know who was running the country when we admit that Biden was not 100%. I don't know what percentage you want to put him at. You want to put him at 60, 70? When they said that he couldn't stand trial for when he took when he wasn't president and he took information back home, the files, and same thing that they went after Trump for and said, well, we can't have him run because he's an old man who wouldn't stand up in court. So they're saying that he had mental deficiencies. They had to have another.
I have to speak to a few of the black bootlickers out there. To Officer Tatum, to Terrence Williams, to John Paul King, to Andre Williams, to the Hodge twins, to West Scott America, and I tagged you niggas in my post. You know, y'all should be ashamed of your selves. To any black Trump supporters who still scream blacks for Trumps, you are the worst. And now it's so clear to me Why the white people in abundance that stand up for you and support you in your comments, because masses love their slaves, and that's exactly what you are.
Well,
To still defend this man and go blacks for Trumps, knowing he depicts the first black president of the United States and the first black female, the first black lady as monkeys, and you niggas still stand behind this man?
Did you at least see the whole video?
no.
What do I need to see besides woo hoo ha?
No, the whole video was about something else.
Everybody, like all the Democrats and stuff, they're all different animals.
Right, I saw that part. So why not put the Trumps? Why not put the Obama's heads on other animals?
Yeah.
Why monkeys?
I know, right? It
How
should be elephants 'cause they
how
got
much
such
of
a
that
big
video?
dick
I haven't seen it. How much of the video is of this?
of
Because
Obama's?
No, of any of the. I heard it was about the what's the act? The first step. What is the act that they're trying? This video was actually
The
about
SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act. That's what it's about. How much of it is about the SAVE Act, and how much of it is this?
I don't know. I just saw the animal part.
You know what?
So none of us can answer this
It wouldn't
question.
even matter because the most powerful part is that part.
No.
Because it speaks directly to the demeaning racism that black people, and like the guy said, the trope that we have always been under.
Well, whoever
As
made it
monkeys and
clearly
apes.
was trolling a little bit by doing that, by putting them on the.
Yeah. But let me ask you this question then. Since you put it at yes or no terms, let me ask you this. If they could prove by looking at Trump's, like you could see how much of it he actually looked at. If he looked at it to the point where that never was seen and he just posted
You've already answered that question. Where you went, it's your account, so it has to go
you
by
have
you.
to take you have to take
Yes.
the but would you still put it on him the same way that you're putting it on right now?
yes.
Where black people can't support him because of this.
Yeah, because he's always been this. He's always been this. So let's not play that game. He's always been this.
I hear what you're saying. You can't change it because this is what's out there. I don't think that he's always been. I think that he's hit it better than this. If this is who he is, then he hit it better than this.
Mama, don't bring the plate, but bring him something to drink. Matter of fact, hold on. What do white people drink? What you drink? No Zima. Fuck Kool-Aid. Bring him a Zima.
I've never had a Zima.
Well, you're going to have one
Maybe
today.
I have had a Zima.
Something else I kind of want to bleed into.
But do you think these black people supported Trump, or do you think he supported the Republican Party and the policies that they were putting out?
You know, I think it's I think it's a mixture of both. Where the percentage lies on one more than the other, I don't know. But at the end of the day, and you know, listen, again, I put out another post, and I'm wondering, should I? Okay, the bottom line, and I've always said this where people on the right love to constantly go, the left, the liberals, the Democrats. You black people need to get off the Democratic plantation. The KKK was founded by the Democrats. But meanwhile, this dude, the president on the right, does this. So whether you eat from the left side or the right side of the trough, we're all eating from the same racist trough. I don't care. No party has been good for black people. None. So I like, what are we talking about? That's why I don't understand when black people do that one side versus the other. Neither side is giving a fuck about us.
It was formed with the intent of.
Well, intent don't mean if it ain't a follow through.
Well, it was. That's how we ended up with the Civil War. That's how we ended up with the Civil War.
I intended to pull out of this, but I didn't. So
that's how
I got a baby now.
That's how they ended up with the Civil War and emancipation and the 40 acres that a lot of people don't know that was given out.
And 40 acres, they intended to give us that, and we still ain't got it.
No, a lot of people got it, and then the Democrats, when they got back into power through the states, took the land away. You can look that up if you want to, because I know that you want to always fact check.
Why do you say the Democrats like it's the current Democrats? It's just the name of the party. It's different people.
It's different, except remember when Byrd was just not even a generation ago, when Clinton was in office, Byrd was still an ex-Ku Klux Klan member that was in Congress. I don't even know if he was an ex. He was a Klan member. And Biden was one of his friends, and Biden was president just this last term. So when you say it was a long time ago, but it's touchable. It's touchable. We have connection to it in today.
Are you explaining that racism existed to me?
No. I'm saying that was a
Look at Andy's made a turn with this racist meme.
no. That's we always know what this is. I've said this on the podcast before about what this is. But
I want to play something, and this again speaks to it's always the same thing. Shut up and just tell jokes. Stick to comedy. You're a celebrity, so therefore you're what you say means nothing. Victim. But we're always told. And I want to play this clip, and I posted this, and then I went in this dude's DM, followed him. I said something to him. He said something back. But this is a Hispanic kid that is talking. Here we go.
Y'all need to stop comparing other people's oppression. Yo, dear non-black people, y'all need to stop comparing other people's oppressions, history, and pain with black people's. It is not the same. It is not the same. Well, other countries had slaves. My ancestors were slaves during the Viking era. It's not the same. I'm sorry. It's really not the same. And I'm not saying that to dismiss anybody else's suffering. Pain is pain. Trauma is real wherever it exists. But comparison is where honesty matters. And pretending everything is equal is how truth gets diluted into nothing. What happened to black people was not just slavery. It was not just change. It was not just forced labor. It was an entire system built from the ground up with one goal: extract everything: labor, culture, language, land, identity, memory, family, spirituality, and then legally, socially, and economically lock the damage in place for generations. That was not a chapter, my friends. It was a foundation. Black people were not only enslaved, they were stripped of names, stripped of lineage, stripped of homeland, stripped of memory, stripped of ancestry, stripped of the ability to even know who the they were before the boat. After slavery ended, the punishment did not stop. It evolved. Jim Crow, redlining, Ku Klux Klan, lynching, mass incarceration, war on drugs, racial profiling, disenfranchisement, underfunded schools, over-policing, medical abuse, economic sabotage, financial sabotage, cultural theft without credit or repair. So when somebody says, my people were enslaved too, but their ancestors went back to land, language, last names, history, and power, that matters. That difference matters. And bro, you realize most groups who were enslaved were eventually absorbed back into a nation, a people, a lineage. Black Americans were released into a country that still hated them, still exploited them, and then blamed them for the damage it caused. That's not the same. And no, saying that doesn't mean other people did not suffer. It means this suffering was systemic, racialized, inherited, and unfinished. You can't flatten that into a generic human struggle without lying.
And so I hit him up, and this is the message I left him, and he responded back. Dude, I want to personally thank you for that post talking about how the trauma of slavery versus other people talking about having been slaves is not the same. Kudos to you for that. As a black dude, thank you, and thank you.
Ari, my guy, you are one of the greatest comedians of all time. I don't care what anybody has to say, bro. Hearing this come from you, bro, it genuinely means a lot, bro. And I'm so happy that I could spread this positive truth, because I'm so tired of non-black people getting so defensive when black people are just trying to open up and share their experiences and their trauma and their pain and their history. And instead of listening and understanding and coming from a place of open-mindedness and open awareness and open understanding, they just get defensive and be like, well, no. They just get the minimizing and denying it and dismissing it. And that's not helping us as humans move forward in the right direction, you know? So that's really just my end goal with all these videos, is just bringing unity to all of us as humans. But it starts with acknowledging wounds that keep getting minimized and denied and disacknowledged and swept under the rug. We have to acknowledge the wounds that are unhealed in order for all of us to grow and move forward and heal as a collective, as humans, man. So genuinely, man, that means a lot, man. Thank you so much, bro. And thank you, bro, for existing.
It's from a young kid. And how many times have we said in conversation, and you've even said, we have to have the conversations. And the frustration that comes from me and my people, and to his post, again, because I know there's a lot of good, loving, understanding, willing to listen and have the conversation white people. But there's also a lot of white people who are dismissive, arrogant, lack empathy, and don't even try to have the conversation. The minute we open our mouths, stop playing victim. Just shut up and tell jokes. Like Jesus Christ. How many times have I said on this podcast, white people, stop being so quick to be defensive and listen to what we're saying. I don't get it. What is the threat in listening? Is it white guilt? And white people are quick to go, I ain't had nothing to do with it. No, but your ancestors did. And those systems, as he said, and as we've said, and it's fact, we're not making it up, are still in place and still affect us to this day.
But see, this is where
Let's go, Andy.
the conversation,
Come on,
the
Andy.
conversation needs to be had, like you said. But when someone opens up another door and says, well, we did this or this happens, it has to be talked about in this kind of manner. Not, when you say just listen, there's still a conversation to be had, and people should have the conversation so it can be explained. You can't just shut someone else's side down. Just because they are not aware doesn't mean that they shouldn't have their pain that they have, that they think that they're bringing with them, whether they understand what the difference is. They still have to. The conversation still has to be open so that so both sides can hear each other.
And I'm willing to have the conversation and hear the other side. But what I found what I loved in that, and again, listen, I've said it over and over. I'm not the best in terms of being able to articulate certain thoughts and feelings. I'm not the most intelligent, savvy. Godfrey's got me on that. He said things that I've alluded to, but have never been able to quite put it in those words. When he goes, not trying to say that, pain is pain and trauma is trauma. But the problem is so many times when I hear people, white people, or even other ethnic groups say, whoa, my people were slaves too. Okay, let's have the conversation, but stop minimizing what I'm talking about. Because what we've gone through, like he said, not the same, not nearly the same.
It couldn't be the same. This is where
I'm sorry, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hey. I'm in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, I'll call you back. God, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You were going to say?
I don't remember.
Come on.
No, I really don't. Just give me.
Come on.
What did I say? What was the last thing I said?
I don't know.
I was talking about not minimizing and not being the same.
Okay, yeah, it couldn't be the same, and people have to understand that the technology.
But they don't.
Well, listen here. I can explain it to them so they can hear it a little bit differently. The technology that we had at the time was completely different than technology that we had before. Mm-hmm. So when enslavement took place, it took place at your door, or at best at the borderline of your home. Do you know what I'm trying? Like your country, your city, your state. You weren't able to get in a ship and go remove people. They didn't have that kind of technology. So the slavery that a lot of people talk about is a certain kind of slavery, but it isn't always true. As we got better at it, there are comparable slave trading that happened that is comparable to what went on here in the Americas, but it was also directed mainly at Africa as well.
I probably need to take a class, but this is where I wish we could bring in the right personnel, because here's another example. When I say I'm not the guy to answer this, but I know what I'm talking about. But even though I'm not the guy to articulate it, when I hear white people lean on, and again, this is one of those these what's the word when you don't accept deflect. This is one of those white deflections. Well, black people sold black people into slavery too. There is a very intellectual breakdown about why that's different. What do they call it? Chattel slavery?
Chattel slavery.
Chattel slavery versus what the Africans were doing. I'm not the guy to explain that. But I know from hearing it, and I've heard examples of it, and this is where our girl Kyla Lacey would be important, where Godfrey would be important, where Vince Morris would be important, to explain that no, that didn't go down or was not what you think it is. And again, let's just say it was everything you think it is. How does that negate 400 years of what white people and their ancestors did to my people? How does that negate that? You lean on that like, well, black people sold other black people slavery, so really it's y'all's fault.
Well, I think that's the thing is like it depending on what your argument is. If you just go, oh, somebody else did it, that's just a fallacy. You know, that's not really establishing like any argument or point.
Well,
just by saying that somebody else did it. All you're trying to do is
why make that point?
Because the argument and the point to that is it wasn't about just someone else did it. It was happening all over the world legally, and it wasn't just happening in one place. The problem that we run into as we talk about this, and then when you talk about the trauma and what he talked about the trauma, is the industrial ability to do slavery. Slavery was it's the difference between you having a farm and raising a few farm animals, and so you could have food, and your family grows vegetables, and you produce enough so that you can eat. That's like the tech. I'm trying to go back to that technology versus what we have today, where we have mills, where we have hundreds of thousands of chickens running around to make to have food, chicken. Okay, so here's the difference in that is the same thing happened with slavery. It was a small amount of people that were able to enslave people, and there was a smaller capability of handling it to where now we have a boat that brings hundreds of people over. That's the difference.
And it feels weird for me to ask a white guy this, like I should know this, but again, you might know better than me. In terms of the cruelty of it, Africans weren't brutally raping and lynching and castrations and separating families and buck breaking. The brutality of it didn't happen at the hands of Africans to Africans versus white people to Africans.
Africans to Africans had tribes that were warring. So you had warring tribes. Warring tribes would capture other tribes and sell them. If you took their best warriors and you captured them and you could sell them off and make money and get rid of that person who was a great warrior that worked against you, you had done two things. You received goods, money, whatever. I shouldn't say money. It was you received goods for it. And then you also have removed a strong soldier from that other tribe. So when you say that, no, it was still brutal. It was a different kind of brutality, though. We understand a warring faction, but what was happening here wasn't warring. It was just like it was non-human. You weren't recognized as being a human.
Okay.
That's where I would say the difference is. Chattel slavery also came about because other changes were made. We weren't able to the importation in the United States of slaves ended. So the way that they could continue to have slaves is to breed more slaves. So as a slaver, you'd want your slaves to have more children, to have more slaves.
I wish we could bring somebody on who really was like a college professor or somebody.
Bring someone on.
I really wish we
Bring
could.
somebody on.
Because I would love to, again, I feel like Charles Barkley sometimes. Even when I'm wrong, I know I'm right. But I know I'm not as educated on this as a person with a degree or that went to school and studied this, but I know I'm not wrong.
But now, because you're going back to the room at the end of the night, they have these things, books, and then they have videos that you can watch so that you can update yourself on this.
I guess so.
So this is going to work out really well. This is going to make you a better podcaster. It's going to make you better.
Dude, let's jump
on
into
history.
this Chevy Chase thing because I don't have a lot of notes.
Okay.
Let's bring some comedy back. So I watched this thing, man. Let me ask you a question. Why was this dude so arrogant? And folks, in case you want to check it out, it's called I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not. It was on CNN.
It's on HBO Max.
It's available on HBO Max. Again, I tried to get it from Hulu and it just won't let me, but it's available on HBO Max. Why was this dude so arrogant, man?
He believed in himself, I guess. I think he just didn't care. Like, there's a balance here where I have to jump into the middle of this, but where Lorne Michaels is saying that he didn't really care about his career. Like he had, I don't know if it was arrogance or lack of like, if you didn't care about a career and you just wanted to be funny for funny's sake and everybody else was trying to have a career, You could dismiss everybody and just be like,
Well, you really think he didn't care? Because
that's what Lorne Michaels said.
Well, I know that's what Lauren Michaels said, but Lauren Michaels also has a motive to maybe feel a certain kind of way because he left the show. And you don't leave a show where if you care about making people laugh and that's the show to go, I want to be a movie star. So he cared.
I don't know. The arrogance just comes from, I think, the belief in yourself and not feeling like connected that you owe anybody anything, that you owe yourself. First of all, comedy doesn't owe anybody anything. So if you just believe that you want to be the best comic that you can be and not worry about the things that come with it, I think you can do it. I think you could be that arrogant.
I didn't know that he played piano.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, I did know that he played piano. I didn't know that he was that good at piano. I knew that he played drums because I knew that he was part of.
I didn't know he did that either.
I knew he was part of the band. I forgot the name of the band, Steely Dan, and I know that he left Steely Dan in college. I did know that.
Right. So here's what I wanted to ask you. So he played piano. He played drums. You've often heard me say, if I wasn't a comedian, I'd love to be a singer. Because I think that's so cool and sexy. I think if you can sing and play an instrument, mainly a piano like Jamie Foxx, that's the creme de la creme. My question is, if you could play an instrument, what would it be? And then also, in terms of instruments, do you look at there are cool instruments and then there are not cool instruments? Like you think cool, sexy is an electric guitar player.
I think it's hard
a piano player.
I think
so. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to mention these instruments.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me either cool or uncool.
Okay.
Saxophone.
Sexy. Not
So it's
cool.
cool.
It's bad.
Cool and sexy is.
Yeah, but sexy. A sax player it's a sexier play. It's not just cool. It's sexy.
All right. Trumpet.
Like it's a badass instrument.
I think of Denzel and Mo Better Blues on that trumpet.
I think of Miles Davis. As soon as I hear
Either
trumpet, yeah, and that's just like who is the coolest, like one of the coolest people ever.
So cool.
But it's not cool when you're in high school.
No. Let's just keep it.
Okay.
It's cool.
Okay, cool.
All right. Drums.
I think it's bad. It's a badass instrument because you're the backbone of the rhythm.
So when you look at rock bands, and obviously what they call the main singer, the front man.
Mm-hmm.
So the front man is the leader. But it always seems like the next dude in line is that dude on guitar. And somehow it always feels like the drummer is just in the background.
He can't move. He's seated. But I think the coolest drummers, if you're a really cool drummer, and this is going to sound up because some people are going to disagree wholeheartedly with this. Depending on what you do, a small kit makes you really cool.
A small
kit, a small drum kit. Like maybe, a snare, a bass drum, maybe a...
But you still got to sit down, right?
Yeah, you got to sit down. But if you can get a great sound out of a few drums versus someone that has 100 drums wrapped around it. And there are some drummers that I like that have 100 drums around them. But there's something about a cool small kit. That's what was cool about early rock, that they had a small drum kit.
So would you say drums are cool?
Drums are cool.
Okay. Piano
on stage is not the coolest to me, but piano's the coolest instrument to learn how to play.
Does it make a difference if it's like a classical grand piano or an electric keyboard?
I think it makes a difference. I think when you're on stage, you're playing a piano, you look like you're doing something.
What if it's an electric piano?
Electric piano's cool, but it's just different. I mean, it has a different feel for it.
Flute.
Not cool. Not cool.
So no amount of Kenny G makes you...
And there's flute. Even in rock music, there's flute playing. But I mean, it just...
Is it this?
Yeah, but it's it just doesn't look cool. I'm sorry, it doesn't look cool.
No. Your answer is your answer.
Do you disagree with that one, or you like it?
No, it's not cool.
It's not cool.
Holding it to the side of your face.
Listen, man, if it works with the song, I get it, and everybody needs the right sound, but just it's not a cool instrument.
Violin.
Violins can be cool, but there's electric violins that have really great sounds. I think there's great music that comes out of them, but on stage, not that cool.
And last one, trombone.
I think trombone's the coolest thing if you're in a marching band.
The trombone is the big horn, right?
No, that trombone is the one that goes up out.
Oh.
The big horn is the. I'm not going to remember. Tuba. Yeah, tuba. That's the one that makes the Jaws. I think that's what makes Jaws. The Jaws.
So either tuba or trombone. No. Oh, and I forgot one, but now that I'm thinking about it, what do they call the big thing? Boom, boom, boom.
That's the stand-up bass.
Yeah. How about that?
That's a bass, dude. If you're in an old rock band,
A cello?
Is that what that is?
Cello.
he's talking about the stand-up. Well, but there's a bass. It's not just a cello. Isn't there one that's bigger than the cello, or is that the biggest one?
Isn't the cello the big one?
I don't think so. I thought there was one bigger than that.
Either way, is it cool?
Yeah, if you play it right,
Yeah.
it can look cool.
Big
Dude, those guys who make that sound to get that bass sound that goes with the drums on some music, I think that sounds great. But it's not I'd rather play a 4-string, stand up the bass with its wrapped. That's cooler looking on stage. You can move.
Right.
The things that don't allow you to move kind of takes the cool down.
Right. Okay.
A double bass.
A double bass.
That's what it's called.
Okay.
Dude, can you imagine because I think, listen, the golden years, the beginning years of Saturday Night Live, when you had Gilda Radner, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Belushi, who was the other blonde chick? They had 2 chicks. Where he goes, Jane, you ignorant slut.
It is Jane.
Jane, okay.
Yeah, and
her. Can you imagine that?
Lorraine Newman.
Can you imagine that group? But you take out Garrett Morris, put in Eddie Murphy.
But Eddie Murphy at that time was like 12.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just saying if
yeah.
he was,
Yeah.
the Eddie, the Joe. Because when we talked about this, when Eddie was on, who else was there? Joe Piscopo. And he wasn't like a powerhouse.
No, Eddie was the show.
Exactly. I'm saying, can you imagine Eddie with that talent, what that show would have been? Do you think he still would have been the standout?
That first year, maybe, because he was also Chevy was a writer. He was this. They didn't talk about this. They talked about it a little bit. Lauren Michaels had him coming on as a writer. He liked him as a writer. There's this. I heard this story, and I don't know if it's true, but they're all walking down the street, and it's kind of raining, and Chevy's saying, "I still want to be I want to be on the show, not as a writer, but as a performer." And they're like, "Chevy, we don't have any more room, and you're an excellent writer. We want you to help us get to this." And Chevy just does this thing where he goes to slip and he falls in the rain and does this big splash and causes this thing, and then they just go, "You're a performer. Let's just get you in the performing spot." I heard that was what did it. They didn't say that on this though,
but it seemed like, other than the physical pratfalls, which was his shtick, the only thing he did was the Weekend Update.
But he created Weekend Update, apparently, and that was a big part of the show. That was the big spike in the show. Now, I don't know. I don't know what happens if you have Eddie Murphy. When the other thing that you got to give these guys credit for is we don't know what the show is. When that show comes out, it's Saturday night. It's not even Saturday Night Live. It's just Saturday night. That's the name of it. And we don't know what it is. They had a manufacture what that show was. And then now you have some framework, and you have, 4 years before Eddie Murphy shows up? How many years is it?
Whatever it is, yeah.
So there's some structure to it, and that, I think, led to this. I'm not saying he couldn't have been part of the structure. He couldn't have been part of it earlier, but he wasn't. I don't know. He came at a time where he got to do everything that he wanted to do in this setup because there was no one really there to challenge him, which I think makes Eddie even grow faster.
But as the talent that Eddie was, you don't think he would have just as easily figured it out with them?
No, I think he would have. But my issue is, though, look who you have fighting for the space. You have Chevy at the first year. You're going to have Bill Murray. You're going to have John Belushi. You're going to have Dan Aykroyd. And you're going to have Eddie Murphy, all fighting for space. And they're already cutting times back on people. So one of the things that makes Eddie great, I think, is that he's a young kid, right? And now you come in and you have all these people that are good, but they're not taking it to another level. And Eddie has it in. So he captures as much as he can grab.
To see Eddie with Belushi,
Dude, that would have
could
been.
you imagine?
No. Oh. I think it would have been. It would if everybody got along, it would have been sick as. But no
Right.
one's always getting along. That's the other part about that group. They didn't all get along. Belushi didn't get along with everybody. They all. What the common denominator though that I see as we go through this is that they were all on drugs. And they admit it, like, Dan Aykroyd goes, I tried every pill, powder, and
Right.
I didn't care too much for the coke, though. But
Right.
that's what he
Right.
said. But Belushi's on drugs. Obviously, now we hear Chevy Chase is like, we knew he had a problem. When he went for rehab, they said it was for pills because he had hurt his back so many times in the falls. They were hiding, the fact that he was coked up. But I don't know, man. I didn't think he was... he was just. I think the other thing. I think women liked him.
Listen, when they showed Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds goes, everything he basically, I stole everything from him. The quips, the timing, the sarcasm. I went, makes sense, because like Reynolds, Ryan,
Good looking.
leading man.
Yeah, but you're not turning on your TV at your home on your Saturday night, and you turn on your TV. And you see Belushi doing his Belushi things, and going, "Oh, I want to." As a woman, comedy, especially at that time, was male centric. And now, as a woman, you're home watching these dudes do comedy, and you have these like Neanderthal looking guys.
Right.
Belushi was bearded up, a wild man.
Yeah.
Then you have Chevy come in, who's smooth, and he does the Weekend Update. He projects an image that
Here's the beauty of funny. It don't matter how you look. If you bring funny enough, them legs part just as easily.
But if you're good looking and you're funny,
well, then yeah.
So that's kind
you
of
could just walk into the police station with an assault rifle on you.
And the other thing is, he did seem fearless.
Oh yeah.
To his detriment here, as we go through this.
Listen, man. One of my favorite movies and my first memories of him as a kid was Foul Play.
Yeah,
I loved Foul Play.
I was a big Fletch guy. I love Fletch.
Fletch didn't do it for me like that.
I loved all those little one-liners. And you know what? Ryan Reynolds talks about that. He kind of throws away the big joke and kind of leans on the little joke, which seems, in a way, the big joke's going to get the laugh. But if you can really put it together, and the subtlety of it, that's an amazing skill as an actor to take comedy to, because then it doesn't make you seem like it. It eliminates you from having the like in Arnold Schwarzenegger with the line that
I'll be back.
You always have the line. If you can be an actor and a comedian and actually just bring the subtlety to life and let the jokes fall where they may, you're really going to kill it.
Yeah, a la Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
They said in this movie, and what really blew him up to star status was the combination between Caddyshack and the National Lampoon. Of those two, and I know the National Lampoon was more of a series, but of those two, what was your favorite? What was your go-to?
Dude, I got to tell you, it's Caddyshack, but it's because of all the people in it. Like, Bill Murray was my guy.
Yeah.
Like, as much as everybody loved Chevy Chase, Bill Murray's my guy.
Right.
And those scenes that were all improv scenes, basically.
This is where I go, what is wrong with me? Because as a comedian, I should be able to. When Caddyshack and was that was 70s?
I think it was late 79.
How old
maybe
were you?
80.
How old were you?
79. Well, 80. What am I? Almost 8. Wait, how old? I'm 65. 65. So I'm 5. 70s. I'm 15 years old.
Okay.
1980.
When I saw it,
15 years old.
When I saw it, and granted, by 1980, I was 5, but I didn't see it in 1980. I saw it much later, probably 9, 10, 11. So maybe I need to revisit it. But because I just didn't get it. But it wasn't funny to me.
But you know what? If you live in New York and you're watching this thing that's in this playing out, unless you're a country club kid, it resonated with me more because we had golf courses and I kind of saw some of the elitism of a golf course, but it wasn't. I saw it differently. If you live in Manhattan, you're not going out to these courses. And you're not doing. Maybe it doesn't resonate the same way. I don't know.
And I think even if I watched it now, I would still go, what's the big deal?
But Chevy Chase's scenes, when he's talking to Bill Murray, and he goes, you come over here, I got to pull. He goes, I got to pull in the pond. The pond's probably better for you because, it's just it's these quick little things that they say that I love that, especially when I was a kid. I watched things so intensely that those things were funny to me. Did you like? You liked what was
National Lampoons?
Yeah.
Maybe one or two, but not even like a whole movie, like spurts.
I think I probably like National Lampoon better now than I did before because I see the Griswold's perspective as a dad. Like, trying to do these things with my kids and not working out.
I still got my father's comedic sensibility that things that made him laugh make me laugh. And then those movies never really made him laugh like that. We watched them, but it never, I don't know if it's I don't want to reduce it to racial shit. But, again, with black people in comedy, there's a certain rhythm and a soul that comes with us jokingly. And those movies to me just feel like white movies.
If they don't touch black culture, then how are you going to pull that up?
No, but I've seen movies that don't touch black culture that I love.
Which one?
Maybe because I'm older now.
Which one though? What movie specifically?
I'm trying to remember at that time. No.
Nothing. I wanted to find Chevy. There's that movie. I love this. I thought this movie was so funny, and all my friends thought it was terrible. But they showed in the movie the one where he's like snorting the.
That made me laugh when he snorted that line and came up in the frame.
Yeah.
With the hair and the eyes. I cracked up.
Did you? I forgot the name of that movie.
I know what you're
But
talking
I
about.
saw the movie, and I thought, and my friends were all like, "That movie sucked," and I'm like, "Dude, there were so many like funny." This is where as I go back and reflect, so many things on Chevy Chase that were funny because it was the nuance of him. Modern Problems. I thought that was a sensational movie. Actually, as a kid, I loved it. I'd like to see it again because I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Yeah. Cut forward to he's a big star. Now he goes to go host Saturday Night Live. And the one through line throughout this was people saying he's difficult. He's an asshole. That moment with Terry Sweeney and the joke about him having AIDS and weighing him every week. Too mean, too far? I'm going to tell you, I thought it was funny.
Okay, there is humor in it. There is. And the thing is, as dark as humor can get, and you're a guy who doesn't have really these boundaries.
Yeah.
I understand why people thought he was an asshole. But listen, as we reflect on that, yes, it's horrible. Yes, the idea that it was the problem.
And
was
that's back in the 80s.
when AIDS was killing.
Right.
Like today probably wouldn't freak out as many people because we have drug regimens that are getting people alive and people have survived and now it's not. We don't have they had an AIDS quilt where they were just making this giant quilt because of everybody who died. I mean, it was so like we are losing people and we can't stop this kind of thing. Yeah. And then he comes up and he says, "What if we put you on scan?" And the idea today, honestly, if you take it for the context that it was, as a comedian, the same comedian that as soon as someone dies, a public figure dies, we can't help but go, okay, but what's funny about that? We can't help it. That is part of what, because the first person that makes that funny is like the true comedian. People think it's because it makes us we want to be the first one to put it out there. Yeah, you want to put it out there, but the thing is, we want to be great. We want to be the first comedian that puts it out there that makes all the other comedians go, "God, I can't believe you said that. But that was so funny." Yes, he made this horrible thing funny, and that's how I think Chevy worked. And I think that wasn't proper. And I think that as he went on, he didn't realize that was his superpower, was to be able to take something incredibly horrific and just throw it out there like he was having, because you notice his tone when he talks is the same. It's just like this. It never changes. So how do you know if this guy's being the comedian or the person? And I don't think there was ever a person when he was around other people. I think he was always Chevy Chase the comedian.
Listen, you don't have to comment on this, and we don't have to make this a big thing, but I just want to point this out, because when you talked about dark humor, again, we don't have to turn this into, I just want to say this. When we talked about the Barack thing and the joke and the monkey and all of that, here's something that regular people say that pisses me off, along with stick to comedy and blah, blah, blah. Look at the comedian getting upset at a joke. You're a comedian. I'm not the president of the United fucking States.
And he's not a comedian.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference.
Jesus. Like when people say that, I'm going, you're making a comparison between those two?
No, you can't make them because he's actually speaking for the people of this country. So that's what he said when he does things like that.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, we don't have to go back into it if you don't want to, but I'd go back.
Here's my last note, and I didn't know this. That his stepfather was physically abusive. And his brother, he tells that one story how
His brother stood up for him.
his dad came down and was smacking him in the back of the head at the dinner table, and his brother stand up and said something about now is not the time for corporal punishment. And his stepfather sat down, and that's when Chevy knew his brother had his back. I can't think of a more horrible thing you could do as a parent than to physically abuse your own children. Because you set the stage for them for lack of trust, trauma, the possible ability to carry that on. That's horrible, man.
I think you kind of said it though in there. It's not the physical. It's not just the physical abuse. It's the mental abuse that comes with it because that's the person you're supposed to trust, the one that's going to take care of you. So when you hurt someone intentionally like that, you're also mentally abusing them.
And when you're at that stage of your life, a child, the world, you're a sponge. You're taking everything in for the first time. So it ain't like when you're an adult, when something happens, you can, as an adult, have the mental capacity to look at it and break it down and analyze it and know it's and see it for what it is. As a child, that first experience, you think that's life.
Yeah.
And what to f somebody up at that stage, knowing that most times it leads to drug abuse, self-infliction, maybe suicide. The fact that Chevy was able to get out of that and survive that is remarkable, but that's not always the case.
But he doesn't survive it. I mean, he survives it, but he has the trauma raises its like. First of all, well, let's see. You don't have it in your notes, but what did you think about the fact that as they're writing for him, and he's doing Community, and he's not getting along with the staff, and this one really did upset me. Is that the writer or the creator, whatever is in
Right.
Chevy,
Dan Harmon.
yeah, Dan Harmon. That's a f***ed up thing to do. To have the whole
Yeah, that was up.
I didn't see that. What did he do?
He got the whole
Crew to chant Chevy Chase.
Yeah, crew and all the people, the performers and the crew, and he's walking in. And he's like
with his daughter.
Yeah, his daughter and his wife.
So his wife and his daughter is hearing them go Chevy Chase.
And
Yeah, well, Dan Harmon's a little degenerate, so it doesn't surprise me.
so anyway, but the black woman on the show, which I don't remember. I've never. You know what? I got to be honest. I've never seen Community.
I didn't either.
Great show.
I heard it's great. I just never seen it.
Love Chevy Chase on it.
Well, but I love I love the scene where they said everybody's sick of him, so Dan Harmon wrote him up as breaking his legs, so that they had to keep him in the wheelchair, and they just kept him in the room.
Now, listen. Some of that was on Chevy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because he had asshole moments in him.
yeah. But what did you think? Okay, if we think the word that he used, because he said any moment now they're going to have me use, they're going to have me say, and then apparently instead of saying the N-word, he just said the word. You're both comedic actors. You're on this set. You're telling them how frustrated you are with the writing, and then you say it, and you don't say it politically correctly in the way to state it. Are you mad at him? Would you be mad at him if he said it to you? It's just you and him.
If we didn't have that relationship, but I think had he had the relationship with the cast where there was of an understanding, a mutual respect. And they even said, they kind of described him as the old guy. Like when you come from, and this is where it gets tricky. When you've paid your dues and you have legendary status, because you can't not look up to him if you're a fan of comedy, if you're a fan of the art. Because look where he came from. He'd been doing it that long. He had that kind of success. There is a respect factor that you have to have. But that has to work both ways.
Right. And then you have youth.
You had your time and you're respected, but you're not that guy anymore. So you got to respect the young guys too.
Because you were that young guy. That's the thing that's missing from him.
Right.
He doesn't see him as he was once them. He sees it as like it's a continuation of who he is, and that should be it.
Right.
And those guys don't have in their, they might not have the same resume he has, but they also don't have that he did a talk show in their resume either.
Yeah.
That bombed so hard that I have memories like
I remember that show.
Listen, man, this happens to me only in moments where what everybody calls a cringe. I am embarrassed to be a human when I see certain things happen. When she was singing the song to Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, and they're on there and they're looking at each other and they're singing. I was embarrassed to be a human. When I see some of those shows on Bravo where it's the women always fighting with each other, I'm embarrassed to be a human. There's moments that it comes out, certain moments, not all of them. Like if that was on TV, I wouldn't be embarrassed because it was on TV. But certain moments have come out that I've seen on those shows when I was watching them. I'm like, I'm embarrassed that I'm, down through whatever history. Somehow we're related as humans, and I'm like my DNA structure is similar to theirs, and that embarrasses me.
Here's the real question: who had the worst talk show, Chevy or Magic?
Didn't Magic have someone sing to him too?
I don't know, but that was bad, dog. We spoofed it on Mad TV several times. It is bad.
You know what? I'm going to say Chevy did. You know why I'm going to say it? Because Chevy was an entertainer, a performer, on for movies, and he. That was some of it where he said he was like, oh, I'm going to be able to figure this out. And you know what? When I watched it, and the very first show where he comes on and he kind of bounces in and he points at the crowd like that, and you see it, I was like, me just seeing that right there, let me know everything I'm going to need to know about this. It's bad from there. Just the way that he went.
Oh, it was cringe. It was cheesy.
He just went boom, and I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. Like I almost relived it. This is going to be bad.
Right.
And I was so excited to see it, and I think that's part of it. We were excited to see it because he should have been able to have conversations. But the problem is sometimes the conversations, you don't know how to have a conversation. This will explain everything about why he had problems with people on the set. He doesn't know how to have a conversation with people. He doesn't know how to talk to people about them. He doesn't know how to include them into him.
Right.
This is about him. And I think that's when you go back to it, and you said the first question to me, how do you that's so arrogant? I don't know you're that narcissistic that you only know about you. You don't. Everybody else isn't even important. You only need to know about you.
Yeah.
So I'm a great comedian. That's all I need to know. Everything that's coming my way, I'm the funniest. I should be here. Everything's about you. Because otherwise, when you watched Robert De Niro on that clip that they had, he's giving out that's not his to set up. If you were Chevy Chase and you came on about Fletch and they said, hey, we got a video, and he goes, oh yeah, this is a great scene. I did this, this is what happened. And you let them set it up. That was painful
to watch.
And De Niro's just sitting there like, what the are you doing?
Yeah. Oh.
So I have to say that his is worse because Magic, at least, he was throwing up a half-court shot. Those aren't always going in.
I'm going to tell you, Magic's was worse for the exact reason of what you said, because he wasn't an entertainer.
But
at least with Chevy, there's some entertainment muscles you have that could maybe even cover some of the bad moments. Magic was just bad.
If you want to, but what I'm saying is, I had expectations for one, no expectations for the other, because he really was. But listen, man, seriously, we heard Magic talk in the booth before, and we knew that he wasn't a smooth conversationalist.
This video is for you. It's for your kids. It's for you can let them know. For you can let them know.
So we knew this wasn't going to be the smoothest operation from the beginning.
And hey, listen, if they watch the video, then you have success.
We'll wrap this up.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up. I know.
Yeah.
I know you got to go to your thing.
Yeah, we pretty much done.
Yeah, we're done. Overall, what do you think about Chevy now that this is all said and done?
You know, like I said, when I watch documentaries, I have a newfound respect for the topic at hand, because you know things, you figure out things. And you know what? Incidentally, before you read the dates, big apologies. I f***ed up my faux pas, because I said some people died that didn't die. Berry Gordy is still alive. A lot of people checked me on that. And Kevin Johnson, it was a football player by the name of Kevin Johnson.
That's who it was?
It wasn't.
And this
Kevin
whole time
Johnson.
I've been sad because I didn't look it up. I just thought it was.
Yeah.
But you had the picture and everything of it. Did someone
That's
put it
what
out
that
there?
was on the internet.
You know what? Now I feel really bad. Because I felt glad for a moment that somebody else named Kevin Johnson died and not the Kevin Johnson I knew. That makes me, that's almost worse.
Yeah, my bad.
I can't believe that. I was like so sad. I should have known because my son would have called me and said something. Let me get this. But I was just sad with the Chevy thing, and then that he had that heart attack and the memory loss. But some of it, you just see him as a different person now. Pulling it up right now. Here we go, guys. Dates. Here we go. I'm gonna do this quick because we don't have a lot of time. Next week. You're listening to this when we're in Houston, February 19th to the 22nd. Houston Improv. February 20th through March 1st, we're going to be at the D.C. Improv. March 6th to the 8th, we're at the Raleigh Improv. March 12th to the 14th, Wise Guys in Las Vegas. March 19th to the 22nd, Helium Comedy Club in Atlanta, which is actually called Alpharetta, but the area we're at, where the club is. And then we're on our the European tour. Good, Ari Spears.
Ari?
Did I say
Ari
Aries?
Spears.
What did I say?
Ari Spears.
Aries. What did I say?
You said Ari.
I didn't say. Did I really?
You did.
My apologies to
.com.
Look it up. All the dates are going to be on there. If you're in Europe, if we're covering some of these dates, I'll just tell you the cities really quick. We're going to be in Sweden. We're in Norway. We're in Germany. We're in the Netherlands. We're in Belgium. We're in France. We're in England, and two different dates in England. So there. If you're out there, I think there's some other dates that we're added. So please check out Aries' website. And that's it, man.
That's it.
That's the show.
You know what we should call this one?
What?
Hoo hoo ha ha.
I'm putting that on there.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit SpearsburgPod.com.